Norway squad looking to avenge their 1991 World Cup loss. Norway dominated, especially in the air, where Ornes scored off a corner kick in the 11th minute. But the USA and Brianna Scurry would never give up hope.
Fighting, recovering, struck long by Venturini, tipped over the bar. What a shot that would have been. Struck hard. Fawcett off the crossbar. Settled. Fawcett drills it off the crossbar again. Rebound. It's loose in the box.
They came for the gold but had to accept the bronze. Today, they get another shot at Norway. The sequel is next. This is RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., site of today's U.S. Women's Cup match between the United States and Norway. It's a rematch of the semifinal of World Cup '95, won by Norway by a score of 1-0. When the organizers first set up this tournament, they were hopeful that today's game would be for the championship, and it is. The standings show Norway and the United States in a tie for first place with 6 points each. Australia finishes in third. Chinese Taipei finishes in fourth. So the winner of this game is the champion of U.S. Cup '95. And welcome everyone to a very rainy RFK Stadium. It's been raining since late last night. I'm John Paul Della Camera, joined on today's telecast by my World Cup partner, Amy Allman, who saw firsthand how good Norway is. Amy, what did Norway do so well to beat the USA and Sweden?
Well, right from the opening whistle in that semifinal game against Norway, they had the United States number. They were, first of all, they out-fouled, out-headed, beat the United States all over the field, and Christine Lilly, who was one of the leading goal scorers up to that point and picking up the slack for Karen Gabera and Michelle Akers, ended up chasing Haga Risa, the MVP of the World Cup, all over the field.
So Lilly was taken away pretty much from the offense and had to rely pretty much on a defensive game. Now for today, we understand that Tony DeCicco, the U.S. head coach, has a game plan to try and stop Haga Risa.
Well, I think what Tony's going to do is he's going to mark up Haga Risa with Tiffany Roberts. There's two reasons that's good. One, Tiffany didn't get into the attack too much, and she has the endurance and the speed to stick with Haga Risa.
That should be a big matchup today, and we'll see how the USA does in their rematch. It's the sequel. The USA versus Norway. We'll have the lineups and the kickoff next from RFK. Than a credit card, it's smart money. It's still raining at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. as we get ready to bring you the U.S. Women's Cup '95 championship game between Norway and the United States. We'll check out the starting lineups first. For the home side, the USA, look at the change in goal. Mary Harvey was the #3 goalkeeper during World Cup '95, #1 in '91. She gets her shot today. And for the U.S. national team, watch for #5, Tiffany Roberts, whose assignment will be to mark #6, Haga Risa. That could be one of the big stories of today's game. That's the game plan for head coach Tony DeCicco, who comes in with a 19-2-2 record, looking to avenge that Norway loss during the semifinals, but he's looking more towards the Olympics rather than today. For Norway, they're missing 3 starters from World Cup '95, but Nordby, the goalkeeper, is back. She had 5 shutouts in the World Cup. #6, Haga Risa, was the MVP. #11, Ornes was the top striker. She's going to start at the back and look for #10, Linda Madelin, one of the leaders of this Norway team, but this is in fact the leader, Evan Pellerud, the head coach of the now defending World Cup champions. He has his eyes on the 1996 Olympics. Come back with us. We'll bring you the kickoff between the USA and Norway next on Prime. Welcome back, everyone, to RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. The rain appears to have subsided, at least for now. It's the USA getting ready to kick off against Norway, and a player to watch today, we told you at the top, Haga Risa, the most valuable player of World Cup '95. She's already scored 4 goals in this tournament. She could be a thorn in the USA side, and one person that will have to really watch out for her is the U.S. goalkeeper, and that's another story today. Mary Harvey gets a start. She was the #3 keeper in Sweden.
She's been the #3 keeper for quite some time. Practically the last time she was the #1 keeper in a big game was 4 years ago in 1991 for the World Cup final. So this is a big game for her. She won it last time against Norway. Let's see if she can do it again.
She's ready for this. She was not tested in the shutout over Chinese Taipei. Never touched the ball with her hands. She'll be touching that ball today. You can guarantee it against this Norway squad as we are underway with the USA in white and Norway in red. Cromwell with a throw-in for 9. Ham. 15 is Venturini, looking long for Akers. The linesman already with the flag up on the outside as Akers and Milbert were going at it. Both teams love to attack, Amy, although they will do it in a different way.
Yeah, both teams have the exact same type of strengths, but their system is so different that it's almost like there's opposite teams, and they almost counteract one another. So it's really hard for each of them to get involved in an attack like they're used to.
Put in play by the USA after that foul. Linda Hamilton, who's had 2 reconstructive surgeries on the left knee, will put it back in play. Hamilton striking it low. Venturini 15 up for Akers, number 10. She is brought down. Play continues. Pushed upfield. They look for that long diagonal pass. Now down the right sideline. 14 is Britt Sandoon, who is chasing it as Akers just now gets back up. She took a hit from behind. Leanne Hepburn, who is the only USA referee at World Cup 95, is in the middle. Paul Tamburino among the linesmen today. Ball is cleared up now to Milbert. Number 16 in white for the USA. And this one is going out of play. USA will have a throw-in. The weather is not what we expected today. 75 or 73 degrees is the temperature, 97% humidity. Both coaches were actually hoping that it would be in the 90s with the sun out because they want to test this game for the 96 Olympics where they expect it to be hot. So today that's not going to happen. And
they're not going to get really another chance playing this, especially Norway. They said they may come back again and play a game against the U.S. in February, but as we all know, February in D.C. is a little bit different than it is now this August.
Venturini, number 15, with it. Sending it upfield, that's blocked. Norway looking for it. 13 is Miklabust, and she will play it long, and Mary Harvey is back for it in the USA goal. Harvey has played in 3 foreign countries, so she has a lot of experience in goal, but because of injuries, not that much experience from 91 to 95. Had the back problems and then an ACL, which took her about 10 months or so to come back and train. Arenas, number 11, up for Hagarisa. There's Roberts with her in the matchup that Amy was talking about earlier. Roberts, though, like anyone else, could use some help over there. A lot of experience on the part of Rissa, not as much for Roberts. 63 international games versus 33, and also Hega has scored 25 goals where Roberts has only scored 5. Near sideline, it's turned inside by Pedersen. Here's Akers, number 10, averaging nearly a goal a game for the USA. Michelle will bring it back her side of the halfway line to Overbeck, number 4. Knocked away by Arenas to Hagarisa. And there's where Roberts picks her up at the halfway line. Hamilton, number 8, with a knock for the USA in the air. Look at the 6'1" Arenas playing as a defender because Norway are missing 2 starters from the World Cup 95 roster. But Arenas is expected to play striker or possibly, as her coach said yesterday, midfield come the Olympics in Atlanta. They are not expecting her to play at the back.
Basically, she's been defending most of this tournament in preparation for this game today. They said that they felt that they could not beat the United States unless Arenas was in the back.
Last 7 times these clubs have met, the USA has come out pretty much on the short end. They've only beaten them 1 time, and that was last year during the Chiquita Cup. And ironically, Norway lost all 3 games during the Chiquita Cup, yet rebounded from that and won the World Cup.
I think that just goes to show you what a great coach Pellerud is. He's able to make minor adjustments. His team knows exactly what they expect of them, and they get it done.
You saw that 9-5-1 record. They are the only nation to have a winning record against the USA, and it's by a good margin. Throw-in coming up for Norway. The USA is concerned about their ball possession today. They normally play with that 3-4-3 style, but we may see that change somewhat today. You may see Mia Hamm drop back. A lot depends on the possession game as the USA goes back to defend, and Mary Harvey uses her hands in the ball for the first time in this tournament.
Mary did the right thing. She called it early, so her defense was able to get behind her in case there was a little mix-up or in case she bobbled the ball. And that's good that she's able to do that early in the game. Her team will have confidence in her and will be able to not be afraid to go for it.
Third out of the back by Norway. They send it long. Linda Hamilton chasing this. on this rain-soaked field at RFK. This is one of the World Cup venues for the Men's World Cup in '94 and could be a venue if, as expected, the Women's World Cup comes here in '99. Look out here as Overbeck will clear it. Communication there at the end between Harvey and Overbeck. We saw a lack of communication Thursday night in New Jersey, and Tony DeCicco was very upset at the 2 goals that were given up. One of them definitely because of a lack of communication, but also a lot of defensive mistakes.
So many things can get sorted out if you just talk early and precise.
Played long. Sandun will chase it. She's only had a couple of caps, but gets a big start today against the USA.
So far, she has 2 caps and 2 goals, so her record's pretty good.
And that's Hagarisa, who is down. It happened on that far side of the field. Tony DeCicco looking on. Lauren Gregg and April Heinrichs, the 2 assistant coaches beside her. And I can see Karen Gabera, who has an injured back and is not on the roster, about 5 spaces down, cheering on her teammates. All the way down the left side. Lily in the box. Across from here, Hamill brings it down. Confusion between her and Venturini, I believe, as to who was going to take that shot. And here's Norway. Look how quickly they come out. Pedersen's pass on the right side goes out of play, but there's the danger of Norway in the counterattack. They exploded.
One thing that was safe back there is really Nederland was the only one up. So even if she did get the ball, there was a great chance that we would be able to stop her there anyway. She had about 40 yards before she could do anything on frame.
We're looking at Mia Hamm. Hagarisa is still down on that far side of the field. Hamm right now has been the player of this tournament. The USA have scored 13 goals, and Hamm has figured in 10, either with a goal or an assist. Risa still slow to get up. It happened on that far side of the field, but I didn't see exactly how she went down. Michelle Akers in a crowded middle. Played back. 4 is Overbeck. 38 straight games, all minutes. That's 3,400 plus and counting. Hamilton, number 8, going long. Arenas brings it down to Nordby, who's working on 3 straight shutouts in goal for her side. And a shutout string, when you add another 5 minutes to it, goes back to about 275 minutes. Cromwell and Roberts got tangled up. Loose ball outside of the box, picked up. Norway going inside against Mary Harvey, who comes out. Mary Harvey got a piece, and now it's cleared out. She told me yesterday she's done a lot of work on one-on-ones and breakaways, and you could see some of that practice pay off.
Give a lot of credit to Mary Harvey. Her team broke down there. That's a ball that Christine Lilly needs to run back and support for. Instead, she assumed Carla was going to be able to get out of that. I don't know how. There were 2 Norwegian players right there.
Hagarisa is still out on that sideline, so they broke through with the 10 players. Akers breaking through on her own. Cleared away by Norway on the right side. Nice move on the left. Lily pushing it, and the outside flag went up. I thought on Venturini up in the middle. USA and Norway are scoreless, but Norway could have had the early lead. But Mary Harvey denied.
See, 2 Norwegian players right there, and Carla chooses to dribble it out of the back because there's no one getting open for her. They need to read that early, and like we said before, play it safe in the back.
Back in live action coming through. Pedersen can't get the shot away. Overbeck is there as well, and now Staples, but it was Linda Hamilton who made the defensive stop inside the 18. But Norway, all of a sudden, with the 10 players, they're finding holes and in dangerous spots. Linda Hamilton, one of many players who have not had a rest from World Cup '95. Same with the Norway players who went to play in league competition right after the Cup ended. Both teams could use a well-earned break. Miklabus, 13. Knocked away by Milbert. Norway will maintain possession. The trainer went out to check on Risa, and she has still not come back in. You're looking at Tiffany Milbert with 6 goals in her last 11 games, but none in her last 4. Although she helped to set up 3 against the Chinese Taipei. In the air. 1 for the moment by Cromwell. Hamm back there as well. Akers with a clearance. Back to the halfway line. Settled by number 5, Anderson. One of an identical set of twins that play on this team, although her sister, Anna, did not make this trip. Lily in the middle. Tripped up. And the foul is going to be called on Humlestall, number 18. one of the newcomers.
You almost wonder if they should have kept the advantage there and not even been called. The United States was in with numbers up in the attacking third of the field.
Akers bringing it down. She got fouled, and Hepburn, the referee, calls it on Esposito. And there's a little bit of trash talking going on in the field right now. That's Hagariso, number 6, who was injured and is back out there.
Just far enough away where Akers, Lilly, or Ham may choose not to take a shot and send a ball into space to Carla, who's running forward.
With the injury in the past to Akers, it opened up space for others to take these kicks like Lilly. There was a whistle before it, yet they allowed the kick to be taken. Played up the wing, on the ground. Hamilton is back for it. Number 8 for the USA. They're in white. Norway are in red. They're in the 11th minute of a scoreless first half at RFK Stadium. The rain has taken out some of the heat that we were expecting, but certainly not the humidity, listed at 97%. Ham coming back, number 9 for the USA. Their top scorer in 1995. Into space, she was looking for Milbert. Nordby was coming out, and now backpedals and uses her hands to find Ernest.
Not a bad idea by Mia Ham to Tiffany Milbert. That's the ball that's going to be on this game. They're not going to be able to play the ball in the air and win it very many times with the towers that Norway has in the back. That ball on the ground is the one we're going to look for.
Mary Harvey said earlier she really has nothing to lose in this game. She's expecting a lot of work, and it will be a great test for her as Tony DiCicco looks to shore up his goalkeeping position. There are 3 on the roster, a couple more in the wings, and they are only going to take 2 to the Olympic Games in Atlanta. Loose ball at the halfway line. Cleared all the way back. Amanda Cromwell, who's from nearby Virginia, chases it down. Linda Madeline, a great player for this Norway side, intercepted by Staples, who's also from the Maryland area, from Joppatown. So some hometowners coming back here to play at RFK. Tammy Kierman, who was not in the starting lineup, went to nearby George Mason University. She's hopeful of seeing some action today. Foul call, Tiffany Milbert over the top. Expect physical games whenever these two clubs play, whether it's an exhibition, World Cup, or something else, even a scrimmage. Arenas in the air once, knocked down and then lost. Madeline pushed down. I thought the USA got away with one. All the way back to the halfway line it comes. Cleared long by Esposito. They love to play that long ball. If you wanted to equate their style in the men's game, certainly Norway on the men's side play it that way, but you think about English League football.
Definitely, they like to play the long ball. You know the United States is breathing a heavy sigh of relief, but also one thing that they know is they believe that Norway is the one team that tends to take those dives in the box, and they think they're the best actresses of anyone in the world when it comes to soccer.
And they could have been right there. You could see there was some contact. It didn't look as bad, at least to me on that replay, but Carla Overbeck was the person there on that stop. Off a deflection. Here's Norway looking, but it's picked off. Overbeck again. Avoided surgery with that lead. Cleared into space, but Norway are back for it. Each of these teams missing some key players with a lot of caps and goals represented. Heidi Storr with 134 caps is the one missing from Norway. She didn't start in the final against Germany because of her second yellow, which was a red in the semifinal against the USA. Down long intended for Madeline on the right side, and Harvey comes up with that. U.S. squad are missing 4 stars, but I think the one they're missing most in this cup anyway is Joy Fawcett.
She definitely had an amazing World Cup. One of the 2 players, Joy Fawcett and Carla Overbeck, were named to the all-tournament team in the World Cup. The only 2 from the United States. Joy Fawcett was a huge defensive presence, and every time she went forward, she caused something to happen on the attack, too.
And without Fawcett here, Tony DiCicco is giving someone a chance to maybe claim a spot at the back, which would enable Fawcett to move to a preferred midfield position. Miklebus, number 13 for Norway, in a space. Look at that delayed run by Rissa. She had shaken through of Tiffany Roberts on that play, but the ball wasn't there for her.
She is a fun player to watch. She is so creative. You're not quite sure what she's going to do on the attack, and then she can run for 90 minutes and give you problems on defense as well.
15th minute of play is where we're at. It is scoreless here at RFK Stadium, the nation's capital between the USA and Norway. Long chase to the ball back. Played back to Nordby by the foot of the defender, Anderson, so she can't use her hands. The U.S. winning with Cromwell. Number 19, Amanda Cromwell to Milbert off of the flick. Ham was retreating and now couldn't get to that. Hagarisa. Look at this early ball into space. The wet field may have changed that ball's direction a little bit, but Hagarisa looked like that pass was right on, but the vision, again, is great for her. She's a great finisher and a great playmaker.
She had 5 goals and 5 assists in the World Cup. Karen Gabera in '91 was the MVP of the World Cup. She had 6 goals and 4 assists. So that's pretty much what it takes if you want to be one of the best in the world.
Intended on that far side for Milbert, but it goes out of play. What can you tell us about the pacing of this game, the tempo? Clearly Norway had it in Sweden. Who has it here?
Right now it's been going a little bit both ways. Definitely in Sweden, the first 10 minutes of the game, Norway had possession of the ball. We couldn't even get it out of our half. Right now, I like the tempo of the game. Both teams are playing a little bit more conservative, a little bit smarter, and it'll be interesting to see as the game goes on which team is going to be the first team to break through.
Tony DeChico told me yesterday on what was his, I think I could say his age, 47th birthday. Happy birthday to Tony. He had said that he thought that the first goal, the team that scored the first goal, would win this game. Eben Pellerud said it may come down to just a free kick. Going long, intended for Akers, and that's cleared away. Aranis sends it all the way back. Lily chasing. Look at how far out Mary Harvey comes out, but she was determined and never hesitated once her mind was made up.
Good job by Harvey just to boot the ball out of bounds, too. A lot of people think it's best to try to pass, but in that situation, you need time for your defense to set up when they're caught off balance like that.
Hagarisa scored 4 goals in the game against Chinese Taipei. That was all of her goal scoring in this tournament. This is Aranis, who had 6 goals at the World Cup. Headed back, Linda Madelin, watched by Thori Staples.
Madelin was one of the outstanding players in the World Cup, and then Joy Fawcett shut her down. The only opportunities Norway really had came on corner kicks, which is why this play coming up here is probably scaring the heck out of the United States.
And Norway likes to create traffic in front of these corners.
Last time on the goal that was scored against the United States, they created a wall right in front of the goalkeeper, making it impossible for Scurry.
Esposito, number 3, puts it in the air. Deflected on the far side. Shot taken by Humlestad is cleared out. Everybody was up for that, including Aranis, number 11, from out of the back. Quick ball, looking for Madelin, but Harvey is right there again. Mary Harvey, this is her 20th cap.
She's trying to tell her team there to play to feet. There's no way we're going to beat Norway if we keep playing balls in the air. As you see there, we lost practically every head ball last time we played against them. So the United States needs to finesse it a little bit and pass and move to their feet.
Roberts trying to play it through a congested middle. Look who's behind her. Right now it's Risa. Everybody chasing on the right side. Played across. Madelin let it go. Dummied it through. But it was blocked by Hamilton. And now it's Akers coming back, but the USA got a break, and it just shows you the danger. Risa got free and started the attack.
And that's 2 really saves for Hamilton. She's done a good job being at the right place at the right time.
Venturini sends it long. Akers got nailed by Esposito. Look at Milbert. Tiffany Milbert in the box. Outside, Akers had a late running start to it. Couple of tackle attempts. Hamilton got her legs tangled up there. And it's going to be a throw-in coming up for the United States. Eben Pellerud gearing his squad up to defend the World Cup. That won't be till '99, so his next goal, the Olympics in Atlanta, '96, and other soccer venues. The U.S. still looking for their first shot. Norway has 2. Stats were very close, ironically, in the Norway-USA semifinal, but the game really wasn't until that second half when the USA had chances when Heidi Storr was ejected. But the stats in the first half of that semifinal were misleading because it was clearly all Norway for the first 45 minutes.
One of the big differences in that game was just the corner kick statistics, where the United States only had 3 and Norway had 7, which they ended up scoring a goal on one of those.
That goal came in the 11th minute. Right now we're in the 23rd, and no scoring as Hamilton, number 8, gives it up to Overbeck, number 4. Carlo Overbeck with a knock, right side. Hamilton way up. Hamilton around a couple of players, looking to cross. It's low, intended for Milbert. Cromwell chesting it down. Number 19, Amanda Cromwell, who played at the University of Virginia, will get a throw-in, but look how far up Hamilton came, and with the urgency to attack.
The thing that made that play so great was Carla was looking far, far post, and then Norway kind of got caught looking there as well, and then she sort of sneaked it back over to Hamilton.
Venturini in the air, but that ball doesn't get through. Here in the 23rd minute, it's Hamilton up the middle, blocked. She'll try it again. The U.S. may get that, but an offside flag goes up. Milbert on the far side, I believe, is who that was called on, not Ham, who was close to her.
The United States has a tendency to play that a little bit too close. Milbert is faster than every single one of those backs there, so she doesn't need to play it so that she's even. She can be a little bit behind at Norway and still beat her to the ball.
Akers knocked down by Espeseth. Foul on Gro Espeseth, as Hepburn, the referee, wants to keep this one under control. Espeseth, harder to say that time, finished 3rd in the MVP voting. She gets a yellow. Norway with 7 fouls to 2 for the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Overbeck
a yellow card
to Mia Hamm.
has been issued by the referee.
Chased by Miklavus.
Number 3.
Hamm, who's having this great tournament, plays it across for Akers. Great attempt by Akers from Hamm with Arenas there defending. USA could have gone on top.
Great job by Mia Hamm to just keep the ball, but Arenas and Akers back here are battling it out. They're pushing and pulling and tugging, and one of these minutes here, one of them is going to create a great opportunity.
At the halfway line, Cromwell left it back. That's Roberts, number 5, in white. Chased back, Lilly helping out. I'm looking at the spacing there by the U.S., and it seemed like they didn't have the proper spacing there, as it's broken up by Norway. A lot of congestion right there on that far side of the midfield area.
Definitely, they need to communicate a little bit and move people where they need to be earlier, and that's Carla Overbeck's job.
All the way back towards Nordby, who sends this one long. Both goalkeepers working on shutout streaks. We mentioned 275 minutes for Nordby coming in. She had a shutout in the first game, and Mary Harvey played in 180 minutes coming into this game in 1995, yet to give up a goal for the USA in international play this year.
When she has a good first 20 minutes, you can pretty much count on Harvey to come up with the full 90. If she makes a little bit of a mistake early in the game, sometimes it's a little hard for her to keep her concentration and be strong the rest of the game. Nordby, on the other hand, had an outstanding World Cup, got scored on once, and that was it.
She is just 20 years old, so she'll be back for a lot more. Goal kick coming up for Mary Harvey in the 26th minute. There's Bente Nordby. Age 20, she is still listed as a student. World Cup 95 starter, 23 caps coming into this game.
Even though she is only 20, they have the leagues that are they're so much better than what we have to offer our players in the United States. So even though she hasn't played for very long on this national team, she's played at a high level for many, many years.
Quick ball on the right side. Sandor. Norway spacing out for this to the far post. Pedersen can't get to that. Cromwell may have diverted her somewhat with her leap into the air. And now this one goes out of play. But Norway, again, showing you how quickly their attack goes, and the spacing on offense was really something to watch.
Norway was very unlucky on that because we had 2 players that were chasing, and not right until the ball landed were they even goal side. They were still behind the Norwegian attack.
Brunestad broken up in the double team. That's Hammond Cromwell. Milbert, 16, leaves it off for Akers. Good ball left side. Lilly had to wait just a second for it. Christine Lilly into space. Milbert, look at this ball. Wants to go back to Akers. Onside. Akers had that ball, seemed a short hop on her. But the U.S., like Norway, showing that commitment to the attack. And now it's a wide open game. Down the left sideline. Roberts, great effort. Her speed saved her against Risa. That's a good play defensively. Nobody else was back there.
That last perfect example about the two different styles. It took the United States 3, 4, 5 excellent one-touch passes, and Norway just boots it down there, and here we have a corner kick.
Corner for Norway again. Far post, Harvey got to that with both hands, punching it out. Here's a shot by Tona Hagen, and that's deflected out. Should be a corner kick. So the edge is there on corners, but Mary Harvey has been focused on those.
So many people around her on that one. It's usually the safest thing to box because you never know if you try to catch, you could land on somebody's head or shoulder and then lose control of the ball.
Esposito for the corner. Still scoreless. A bender to the middle. Maitland was up, and Harvey got whacked after trying to go up and make the save. Push back toward Hummelsdal. It stays in play on this rain-soaked field at RFK, and the poor kick will mean that the USA will have a goal kick coming up. But I like the composure of Mary Harvey, and she's been tested, at least mentally, in a lot of these corners because that's the strength of Norway.
Well, playing in Sweden and Germany, she's probably seen this Norwegian team play more than anybody else, and she knows that that's one of their best strengths is corners, so I'm sure she's been practicing them.
Mary Harvey started out World Cup '95 as the #3 goalkeeper. She could really boost her stock with a solid performance here today. Clearly, she's been given an opportunity to move up. With Brian Ascori still recovering from recent injuries occurred in an automobile accident, Brianna is still considered the #1. Tony DeChico looking for a #2. And right now, Mary Harvey is in the driver's seat. Michelle Akers looking to continue on her goal-a-game or nearly goal-per-game pace. 91 games, 85 goals. No one is even close to that, man or woman. Saskia Weber, I believe, if my math is correct, 4th one in from your screen, far side, among the interested spectators watching. Here's Mia Hamm down the far sideline. She is brought down. Ball went out of play, but I'm looking to see if the referee has the foul or just the throw-in.
She's probably lucky on that the grass is a little bit wet and soft because when she fell, her head just kind of snapped back real hard and hit the ground. It was nothing really that the Norwegian player did that made her get up so slow. Watch her fall here, and her head just whacks the ground real hard.
Good call. Off that USA throw-in. Over back, right side, Mia Hamm. Nice cut. Right back inside. She was going near post. Not many players would take that shot, but we've seen her make it, and she had the right idea.
And the United States needs to keep sending that ball. The 3 times that they've broken by Norway's defense has been on the ground, passing either to Tiffany Milbrett, Michelle Akers, or Mia Hamm.
One of the best games I've seen her play at the collegiate level was on a rain-soaked field, much worse than this in Chapel Hill, and she scored a great goal. So the weather doesn't seem to bother her at all. Maitland down the right side. Tori Staples right with her. Tori is a relentless marker. She just needs to get experience, which she's getting here.
And she knows she needs the experience. She's one of the players that is always out an extra hour after their practice or asks a few of the players to come early and help her work on the things that she needs to work on technically.
Still has some eligibility left at North Carolina State. We first saw a lot of her last year at the Chiquita Cup, won by the United States. Esposito ready to throw it in on the far sideline. Here in the 31st minute of a scoreless game. It's for the championship of the Women's U.S. Cup '95. And Ornes has been going forward on all of these attacks, even though she plays out of the back. And she'll be up again. Tremendous numerical advantage in terms of corners right now for Norway.
Normally, the United States plays a zone corner defense, and you can see right now that the United States is marking up within 3 yards.
This is the 4th corner. Maitland, it was punched down by Mary Harvey. I thought she got it with her left hand, and how did she even see that ball?
She's complaining right now to the referee. She's saying, "Ref, I cannot even move." And Norway's doing a great job of pretending like they're going for the ball when in actuality they're blocking Harvey.
She told us yesterday she was going to talk about communication. Let's see her.
If you think you get claustrophobic in an elevator, this is even more nerve-wracking. look at that. You can't even see with the amount of United States players and Norwegians in there. It's practically impossible.
And if you don't think it's a contact sport, we saw it there with the goalkeeper. And Michelle Akers is down right now, shy of the halfway line, as the ball is played back to Nordby. Nordby with a give to Nina Niemark Andersen. Michelle Akers is back up. Not playing, by the way, with the brace that she was wearing in the previous 2 games, but she's hurting a bit as she's pulled up a few strides over the halfway line. Hamilton, right side in the scoreless game, 33rd minutes from RFK. Ornes back to chase it. Played long again by Norway. Lilly brings it down to Venturini, number 15. Tiffany Roberts, number 5. Cromwell. And again, there's that possession game on the ground. Good work by Roberts to keep possession.
It's not a bad idea by Hamilton. It's just that our attackers weren't ready. Michelle Akers was still a little bit too far back to be able to make that into a good ball.
Espeseth plays it long. Madeline. And Harvey is right back there for it.
When Norway's defense is in control of the ball, it would be nice if the United States could attack them and put more pressure on them all at once. We've seen Mia Hamm run at them one time. We've seen Tiffany Milbrett, but it has to be more than one person.
Sundbaum can't get to that. Cleared by Espeseth into space. Hamilton is back for it. She was pressured by Mariana Pettersson. Harvey up the middle. Flicked on by Venturini. Carlo Overbeck, number 4, pushing it wide. Lilly over the halfway line, slots it in the middle. Wanted Mia Hamm. Espeseth fumbled around with it. Hamm will chase it, and it's cleared away. And that mistake by Norway almost cost him at the back.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. When you see Hamm go forward like that, it would be great if you see Milbrett, who's also got wheels, because these defenders haven't been put under pressure. And when they were, which we saw in the last 10 minutes of the semifinal game, they started to cough the ball up in very dangerous areas.
Akers brings it down. There's Michelle Akers looking to tee it up. She'll pass it. Lilly chested it in one quick motion. Had a great chance to score, but put it over the bar. But that's something we didn't get to see in Norway because Lilly had too many defensive responsibilities and Akers was really hurt.
Already in this first half, we've seen some attacking presence from Christine Lilly, and I don't know anyone else who can trap the ball on her chest from a ball that is driven with such speed and power and serve it up on her left foot for her to take a volley like she did, or her right foot.
Just read yesterday in the Washington Post that Lilly is going to play for an indoor men's soccer team in the Continental Indoor Soccer League, coached by Jim Gabera, Karen Gabera's husband, the Washington Warthogs. So she's expected to join that side in training within the next couple of weeks. She will not be the first woman, though, to play on that team or in the CISL. Karen Gabera, third one in from your screen. Unable to play because of the back problem. She's also the coach at Navy, hoping to get herself physically ready for the Olympics, which could be her last hurrah. All the way back on the far side, Ornes is there. And that one went out. Norway will have the ball. 36th minute, scoreless game. 14 is Britt Sandu. Tiffany Roberts with clearly a defensive role in this game today. Strickland headed all the way back. Cromwell swept it away. Cleared the other way. Maya Staples. And this one goes out. Throw-in coming up for Norway. Miklabust. Akers, number 10 in white for the U.S. Back for Venturini, who scored the hat trick in the game one against Chinese Taipei. Cromwell down the right sideline, sprinting. Look at the run back by Espeseth. Back to Nordby. Nordby played in the first game, the 2-0 win, while her team was still jet-lagged. That was win over Australia. Wydun Seth played in the second game, the 12-1 win over Chinese Taipei. Lilly couldn't trap that, but she made the recovery. Now broken up by Hagarisa. Into space. Risa's got it. Risa drills it far side. Mariana Pettersson, number 16 in red for Norway, brings it down against Hamilton. Linda Hamilton playing a very strong game. She's made 4 outstanding plays in this first half alone.
Last game against Norway, she was one of the players that played really well defensively.
Played long in the air. Overbeck won it. Risa puts it back. Maderlin. It plays in Japan. Harvey's got it. Mary Harvey with that left-handed toss, far side to Lilly. Christine Lilly from Wilton, Connecticut, leads this team in appearances for her country. This is her 98th. All the way back to Mary Harvey. 38th minute of this first half. Anybody's game, a much better game than we saw in the semifinal when the USA lost 1-0 to Norway.
A much more two-sided game. The first half of the last game, I don't think the United States had time to catch their breath before the whistle blew. They didn't even know what had hit them.
This is a home game for the USA on U.S. soil, and even though the game was not in Norway, but it was in Sweden, it was more like a home field advantage for the Norwegian side. They were just a short plane ride away from Sweden, which was the host of World Cup '95 for the women. In his space, Akers chasing. Nordby's got to come out. Nordby, the only reason she gets to that ball is she anticipated it and got there because there were speedier players like Milbert chasing that ball.
As soon as Christine Lilly started dribbling toward that space, you could see Nordby. Right now, you can't see it, but Nordby's already coming off her line, expecting that ball to be played through. If she hadn't, we would have probably got on the end of that. Both Akers and Milbert were there.
You can hear from the bench, players saying time to Tiffany Milbert. Communication picked up for the USA in the second and third game, although not defensively in that second game at New Jersey. But we did hear a lot more top of the field. Pedersen. Chased by Cromwell. Pedersen, a great ball. Sandu was chasing it, and Mary Harvey. And how about the defensive work of Christine Lilly?
You gotta love it when your outside midfielder is inside the 6-yard box to make a save like that. Good communication by Mary Harvey. You can hear her call for it, and all Lilly does is jump over, let her go, and mind the net and back in case something squirts out. She's calling it early, and you see Lilly just kind of covering for her in case it doesn't go as planned.
It's a great ball and a great tracking job by Lilly. Here's Humlestall, tackled away by Thori Staples. Humlestall staying down, but that's a nice defensive play by number 2 for the USA, Staples. All the way back to Nordby. Humlestall, 23 caps, 3 goals, but hurting right now. And they will clear this ball out so that the training staff can take a look at Margun Humlestall.
I couldn't tell at the time, but Thori did a good job. She went for all ball, and she went from in front of the attacker. If she does that from behind, then maybe there's a reason to call a foul, but that was definitely clean.
She is only 16 years of age, and you don't make national teams much younger than that. Mia Hamm at 15 was the youngest woman or man to play for the U.S. national team. Christine Lilly, a few days after her 16th birthday, joined. There's Thori Staples, who has done well today. Her main asset is her speed, and she's playing against a team who one of their major assets is strength and also experience. And you can hear Mary Harvey say, "I got it." Carla Overbeck communicating as well with her.
And if you can have a good asset, speed is always an awesome one to have. You can make up for so much if you're fast.
I forgot to mention youth is on her side as well. That's always a plus. Lilly into space, left side. Mia Hamm on the chase. Still scoreless as Hamm bends it inside for Akers with a header, but it's right at Nordby. But how that ball found its way to Akers with at least 4 Norway jerseys around from Hamm was incredible.
Yeah, and Espeseth didn't even really try to go for the ball. All she was doing was obstructing Michelle. She did not even go up for that quite as Akers did. She was just making sure that Michelle Akers didn't have a good angle on the ball, and therefore she can't get enough power on it. She's standing right behind her, so she can't run onto the ball.
more you watch Mia Hamm, the more you have to be amazed with her playmaking skills. She is a great scorer, but maybe doesn't get as much credit for her playmaking and her defensive ability, even though she's leading the team in assists. I don't think that people remember that as much about her part of the game.
She's one of the best players off of the dribble. When she's dribbling the ball, you can't tell if she's going to pass it or shoot it, and oftentimes the ball's in the back of the net, and the keeper hasn't even realized that it's left her foot. Other times she'll pass it.
In his face, Mary Harvey's got that all the way. Mary Harvey attended school at the University of California at Berkeley. She is from Los Altos Hills, California. Big game for her. Coming back. There's a chance. Tripped up is Mia Hamm at the arc. It goes through to Akers. Best shot. Tipped up the bar by Norby. The save of the game. That one could have been 1-0, red, white, and blue.
Second effort and presence of mind by Mia Hamm. She's down on the ground. She's getting fouled. She was taking it to goal. And then next thing you know, she figures out a new option just barely by flicking it to Akers. Norby does a great job coming out and cutting off the angle. You can tell by that view right there that the goal looks fairly small when the keeper comes out like that.
And when I refer to red, white, and blue in this case, it's USA. Although those are Norway's colors as well. Here's Hamm off the corner inside. It was intended for Cromwell. She keeps it in with a nice knock. Hamm again drives it. Headed away by Norway. U.S. knocking on the door, but Overbeck's shot goes high and wide off the left foot. But some nice pressure by the USA. It's still 0-0.
A little bit of change on their corner kick since the last time when they played in Sweden. They tried to aim for that far post on a higher ball, and I think they realized that they definitely have a height disadvantage, so that was a low ball, in-swinger, driven right at the near post.
44th minute by our clock here. The stadium clock has been turned off. Goal kick for Nordby, who continues to impress. Risa in the air. Cromwell has it kicked away from her, all the way back the other way. Mikla Bust with a pass to 16 Pettersson, who scored a goal in the World Cup final against Germany in that 2-0 win. Risa had the other. Staples won that in the air. Lilly. Both teams playing well as a unit, but there are some very outstanding individual performances as well. And for the USA, you've got to look Mary Harvey's way. Certainly Staples at the back, and Hamilton. Mia Hamm has caused some problems up top as well for Norway.
Staples and Hamilton have been both fighting for a position. They want to be on that for-sure list to go to the Olympics, and so far I don't think Tony's given either of them the green light.
No, ironically, they could be competing for one spot. Today, they're both out there starting as they have during this tournament. With Joy Fawcett not playing because of an injury in her college commitments at UCLA. Tiffany Roberts on the chase. Knocked out. She'll get a throw-in. Last touch by Sandro. Off the throw-in, Venturini. Now 16, Milbrit. Cromwell with a knock, that's blocked. Hagen off the chest that time of Hunderstal. Now in the closing moments, USA must shut the door. Miklabust. Blocked by Michelle Akers coming back. That one had to sting a bit. But Akers knows how important a goal could be for the opposition at this stage, so everybody's got to come back. Madelin. Blocked by Florrie Staples. She didn't give Madelin an inch.
She's having a great game, and she's staying real tight on her mark. And in the air, she has good timing as to when to step up and win the ball first.
Off the throw. Esposito chasing. USA forcing it out. Esposito with a good recovery, but Mary Harvey's got it all the way. Playing with an awful lot of confidence here today. Knew that this was her chance, and she was just determined to make good.
It's kind of a great position to be in when you really have nothing to lose. All you can think of is go for it.
Hamilton in the air going for that. This time Norway gets it. Madelin and Staples right with her again. You can hear people saying, don't foul, Thor. They don't want to set up for a free kick here. Clearing out. Karma Overbeck. Great play. Tona Hagen. Forces that one wide, but clearly the USA is doing a much better job defensively, coming up with some big plays like that one by number 4, Overbeck.
And one thing I've noticed is there's much more talk down on the U.S. side of the field than we've both seen in a long time, and I think that has a lot to do with how tight they are defensively.
Mary Harvey, like her counterpart Nordby, keeping this game scoreless in injury time. And right on that cue, that's it. Pepper and the referee blows the whistle. An interesting first half and a very competitive first half. Mary Harvey with a strong performance in goal for the USA. Nordby, likewise, she made that great save on Akers. The goalkeepers are part of the reason why it's scoreless at halftime at RFK. Come back with us here on Prime. Welcome back, everyone, to Prime's continued coverage of the U.S. Women's Cup. After 45 minutes of play, the USA are battling Norway. It's a 0-0 draw. Both goalkeepers, Mary Harvey and Bente Nordby, playing very well. And welcome back to RFK Stadium. The rain has finally stopped. I'm John Paul Della Camera, joined by the chairman of the Women's U.S. Cup 95 Committee, Bob Palmero. We talked to Bob a year ago. Last year was a success when it was the Chiquita Cup. This year, it's a bigger success. Was it easier to sell a women's game this year because of the World Cup?
Absolutely. And having a match like this with Norway, a rematch of the 95 World Cup, which will show that it was a fluke as far as we're concerned.
I know you're an ambitious person, but where did you come up with the idea to play a game like this at RFK Stadium, which up until this point has either been NFL or a World Cup venue, but always men's soccer?
I think the time was right. Women's soccer is becoming a lot bigger in this country. And obviously from the attendance here, which we don't have a final figure yet, but it's around 10,000, by far the largest crowd ever to watch women in this country. The time was right, and we're going to continue to build on that.
Everybody is thinking about the Olympics for next year, but this is supposed to be now an annual event. How far in advance do you think already to next year's Women's Cup?
We anticipate next year having a pre-Olympic tournament, late May, early June, and we'll probably have at least 3 countries from around the world that will be involved in the Olympics playing here, as well as the rest of the venues in Region 1.
Thanks for joining us, and congratulations on setting an attendance record today.
Thank you very much.
We'll announce that record crowd later on in the telecast. It's 0-0 after the first 45 minutes here at RFK.
I think the coach is saying if you want to keep your lunch fresh, trot on into Gatorade's Lunch Bag Night at the Marlins-Astros game, Friday, August 25th at 8:05. All kids 12 and under get an authentic Florida Marlins lunch bag, compliments of Gatorade and extra superfood centers.
Here you go.
Thanks.
I travel a lot, but you don't have to play in the NBA to visit new places and meet new people. All you have to do is pick up a book, because when you know how to read, adventures come to you.
Today's story is Little Shaq Horner.
So no matter who you are or what you plan to do, learn how to read. It opens up a whole new world.
Shaq's gonna beat them.
It's a good thing he doesn't play basketball.
Nico's Bar and Grill and Draft House Productions proudly present Sunday, August 13th, Southern Rock Legends, Molly Hatchet. With special guest, Badass. Tickets are on sale now for only $10 in advance or $14 on the day of the show. So grab your lawn chair or blanket and don't miss this exciting day of sun, suds, and fun at Nico's Bar and Grill in Ocala.
Helping seniors is a large part of our business at McGee's. Sure, price and selection are important to seniors, but value is the key. My value-added sales program guarantees that you will play better golf. We start with a free professional club fitting using state-of-the-art computer and video equipment. Then I'll guarantee your satisfaction for 2 months. And lastly, when you buy a new set of woods and irons, I'll give you free lessons as long as you own them. You won't find a better value than that anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone, to RFK Stadium. After 45 minutes of play, the USA and Norway are scoreless. in the U.S. Women's Cup 95 Series. Welcome back, everyone, to RFK Stadium. Along with Amy Allman, I'm John Paul Della Camera. What a difference a month and a half makes. This is clearly a better U.S. side than they faced against Norway a month and a half ago, and they're doing it even with a passing game.
The United States is finally into their style that they do best. Passing and moving. A lot of one-touches, slicing and dicing, just like a hot knife through butter. Here we see 1 and 2 touch. They go right through the Norway's defense, beating them. Michelle Akers ends up with the ball after this pass from Milbrit and almost gets a shot off on goal, but it's defended by Norway.
That's the offense for the United States. On the defensive end, Mary Harvey has been immense.
Mary Harvey in the mush pot here against the world champions of soccer, and she's doing a great job at what Norway does so good, and that's their corner kicks.
0-0 at halftime. Remember, if we go and it's a tie game after 90 minutes, it's sudden death overtime. There will be a champion crowned today here at RFK. Come back with us. We'll have the second half in just a moment.
They are not sisters. They are not classmates. They're not friends. They're not even the girls' team. They're a pack of wolves. Tend to your sheep.
Washington, D.C. will make Olympic history in 1996. And you can be part of it. Don't miss your opportunity to witness history as men's and women's Olympic soccer will be played at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. Call 202-34-SCORE for ticket information. That's 202-34-SCORE.
100% natural, wholesome fun. And Parmalat. 100% natural, wholesome milk go hand in hand. Because Parmalat is real milk that doesn't need refrigeration. Just chill and enjoy wholesome milk anytime, everywhere. Parmalat, the best thing that could have happened to milk.
To be the best, you need the best. And TSI Soccer brings you today's best soccer gear. Call now for a free TSI Soccer catalog. 1-800-842-6679. Look to the best. Expect the best. Demand the best. TSI's free catalog. TSI Soccer. Be the best.
I think the coach is saying if you want to keep your lunch fresh, trot on into Gatorade's Lunch Bag Night at the Marlins-Astros game, Friday, August 25th at 8:05. All kids 12 and under get an authentic Florida Marlins lunch bag, compliments of Gatorade, and extra superfood centers.
What secrets to life in the future lie behind these doors? We'll tell you. A lot of the household containers you use every day can still have value to you even after they're empty. So don't just toss them in the trash. Recycle them, and they'll keep serving you in many new and different ways. It's the right thing to do for everyone, every day. For more information, contact your local recycling coordinator. It's in your hands. Recycle it. Keep Florida beautiful.
All the way back the other way, Patterson on the attack. Here's a chance against Mary Harvey. And the USA is very fortunate because there was room at the far post.
Hamilton, we've seen this before, she is susceptible back there just because of her pure speed. She gets beat on this, and she's not able to catch up or make any ground. That's not putting much pressure on the forward that's coming through. Harvey does a good job covering the goal. And even though it goes wide, I think if it would have been inside a little bit, I think Harv may have had that covered. Good attacking presence by Norway. One thing that DeChico has to be thinking about when he picks this Olympic roster is the 16 he's going to take. Hamilton is a veteran, a cagey, ruthless veteran, but speed is one thing she's lacking.
Both coaches told us yesterday that they're not sure how well their teams can play in their present format in the kind of extreme heat conditions that they expect at the Olympics and also with that 16-man roster. So you may see some experimenting from Tony Pacheco and Eben Pellerud as Lily tracks it down. USA may have an advantage in training because they'll all get together in January and they seem to have a lot more money at their disposal than does Norway, a much smaller country. Eben Pellerud guides their fortunes.
They also will be training down in Florida, which will definitely get them used to the humidity and the heat, which they'll be dealing with when the Olympics roll around.
Whereas Norway has to travel to find that heat. Akers in a quick restart. Good play ahead. Tiffany Milbert knocked out of play. A throw-in coming up. Norway's ball. Nina Niemark Andersen will leave it off instead for Ann-Kristin Arenas. She is 6'1", very thin, but a lot stronger than she looks. Try taking the ball away from her when she's on the attack. Roberts, number 5 in white for the U.S. Knocked by Cromwell. That just missed Mia Hamm, who's chasing it nonetheless. Back to Nordby. Cleared upfield the other way. Here in the 4th minute of this second half. No score. If it's tied at the end of regulation, we'll have sudden death overtime. Here it's brought down by Madelin. And she just chipped it, and again the USA was lucky because that time it didn't seem like the communication was on with Staples, Overbeck, and Harvey.
Overbeck missed that header, not because her timing was off. I think the ball just carried further than she thought it was going to. And the goal was wide open. If Madelin had got that on frame, I think it might have gone in because Harvey was initially covering the first long ball through.
You're watching the U.S. Women's Cup 95 series being presented by Parmalat. We're at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. Along with Amy Allman, I'm John Paul Della Camera. It's scoreless here. The winner of this game wins the title, which means a very nice trophy and a $25,000 check from Nike. Akers with a knock. Inside Mia Hamm, tripped up. And play will continue. They will say that the defender, Espersen, got all ball. And the referees in the stands don't agree. I'd like to see it again myself.
No one even expects Mia Hamm to get this because right when the ball squirts out, she's nowhere near it. But her first 3 steps are so fast that she ends up getting a toe on it. And she does get taken down, but they did get the ball.
Mia Hamm with an exceptional year in 1995. She was the only one of that triple-edged sword that was able to make a contribution in the World Cup, and still it was nowhere near the level that we have seen her play at. Obviously, she had to be bothered by the fact that her teammates were not there at full strength. The 2 players up top that helped her score goals, Gabera and Akers. But what a player she is. She's always used to winning. That's why losing the World Cup had to be a severe blow to her. Won 4 titles at Carolina and the 91 Women's World Cup.
Is that all?
Yeah. Milbert intended for Akers. Here's Roberts. And the offside flag goes up, and the referee acknowledges it. Yesterday we talked to Eben Pellerud, and I said, what kind of intensity do you think this game will be? And he said, well, if the World Cup was a 10, because of the extreme heat here, I think it'll be a 4. And you and I kind of snickered at one another and said, there's no way it's a 4 here. It's not going to be a 10 because the World Cup is the ultimate, but I would think it would be closer to 8. Here's Pennerson. Madelin. Crossed away. Risa. Are we seeing some fatigue at the back here? Because I'm not able to pinpoint another reason why maybe the last 3 times the U.S. have been caught here.
A little bit of it may be fatigue, and they've definitely been busy, not as busy as they were during the last time these 2 teams got together, but they've been much sharper, and it's amazing when you concentrate how tired you get just from expending that energy thinking.
Watch for number 6, Risa, on these free kicks. If she in fact takes it, Hagen is there with her. Risa with a chip. She's passing for Madelin. That's a nice play, nice idea, but Harvey was there to come off her line. You're the goalkeeper. How do you read that initially, as shot or chip?
You just expect everything, and you want to expect a shot, but if you listen for the ball and don't see it immediately, you know that it's been passed somewhere else.
Risa bothered there. Roberts and Cromwell. to Venturini. Cleared all the way back by Arenas.
Back to what you said about Pellerud saying this game is a 4. Even if he did think that, there are no way that any of the Norwegian players in this game think that this isn't an important game at all. That guy right there, if I have a say, is what you'd call a sandbagger.
I asked him about changes made from 91 to 95, and he said, you know, and he's right. There's not much difference between first place or second place, gold and silver. It's a fine line offside in the U.S., and offside can at times be a fine line as well.
This offside is killing the United States, and it happened during the last game. The United States had 6 offside calls versus Norway's 2. And they're just jumping the gun a little bit. They're so anxious to get in there that they're playing it too close for comfort. Norway's doing a good job just stepping an inch or 2 in front of them.
Norway normally does a good job of the offside trap, but I think it's more of the USA hurting themselves there than Norway pulling that defense. There it wasn't on. Off the deflection off Esposito, the throw-in coming up for the United States in the 9th minute of the second half. And so far, we've not seen any substitutes, no one even warming up on either side. So if coaches want to get a look at a lot of players, unless something changes, that has changed. Ham to Milbrett with a knock to Venturini, knocked away. Look at this run by Mia Hamm. She was way over on the right side, now left. Brought down.
It's almost as if the U.S. is so surprised that we still have the ball, they're not quite sure where to run. And that was a little bit miscommunication, a little bit, oh my gosh, we still have it.
And here's one of the best free kick takers around, actually 2 of them now. Lily, if it comes off of a left foot, and that is what it appears to be here. But will she shoot it or bend it? She has a lot of options. Sent it to the far post. And that option wasn't read as well by Cromwell, who was the closest player on that right side. Christine Lilly should become, although Mia Hamm is 1 away, the first woman to hit the 100 cap level. On the men's side, Marcelo Balboa and Paul Caligiuri each did it this year.
100 games at the ripe old age of 24. That's incredible.
So she would be the youngest U.S. player then to reach that level. Or Ham, whoever will get to that level first. Cromwell on the throw-in here in the second half. We're 10+ minutes old. It's coming all the way back. Mary Harvey giving it the chase and lets it go because it's her ball. Start to think about Tony DeCicco's comment earlier yesterday about expecting whoever got the first goal. I think the first goal here is going to be very, very critical the way this game has gone.
And emotion-wise, too, I mean, the first team that's going to get the first goal is going to be so up on an emotional high, and it's so hard when you're the other team to battle back from that and do something in order to counter that.
Tony just said something about making a substitution. We'll check it out. All the way back the other way. Overbeck. When you get 2 teams at this level, as Pellerud said, there's not much difference between a gold and a silver. One mistake and it could be game over for either of these 2 clubs. They're that close in ability. Staples brings it down. Right sideline. Akers. Look how deep Michelle is here. Meatlaboos was right on her. Both of these teams know each other very well. They've scouted each other. They've played against each other. And Norway has the edge. In fact, they've shut out the U.S. 3 of the last 5 games. Played across, and that one was deflected out. Corner kick coming up, and here's where you must watch Norway. Risa will take it. And it will be a very crowded goal-mouth area. Norway has the edge there in corners. USA with only 1. Risa sends it in low, headed straight up by Milbrett. Arenas with Cromwell. And then Akers cleared it out. Cromwell did a nice job there. Anderson back the other way, but Mary Harvey's got it. One thing about the rain that we've had since last night, it hasn't really affected the field. No puddles, no balls really skimming, nothing that has seemed to cause the players much of a problem, so we can see. Here's Ham. Akers can't get through that duo. Back the other way it comes. Norway with a quick push down the right side, but Staples is there. Took a bump from Esposito. Oh, nice ball. Right side. Madelin shoots it across the shot. Norway goes on top. It's 1-0. That is a great goal. Well constructed. It looked like Pettersson would get credit for it. Madelin set the table, but it started with Esposito on the right side.
The breakdown initially of this defense is when Staples starts chasing her man. She's on the outside of her, and right here she needs to get on the inside of her. This enables Norway to keep possession of the ball, and Madelin is not marked up and slots it by and finishes it off. That's a hard ball to save when Harvey was initially trying to save the first shot, and it was crossed back. She just takes it straight to goal. Madelin looks up, finds an open player. Harvey set for the first shot, tries to get set for the second shot, but it goes right past her.
I had it as Pettersson. We'll see how it plays out from Madelin. But Madelin makes that great job on the pass, and also Esposito helped out. And there's been a change. Jenny Grubb is in. She replaces Amanda Cromwell. But now it's a 1-0 lead. We'll see if Tony DiCicco turns out to be a prophet in saying that whoever gets the first goal would win this game. And also, I remember Pellerud, there's Jenny Grubb, talking about the game might even come down to a free kick. That goal came on the run of play.
Madelin went through there uncontested and was able to get the assist.
This ball is cleared all the way back to Harvey. So Norway is on top by a score of 1-0. We're waiting for the official call of the goal. Madelin with the assist, and it looked like Pettersson in front for a 1-0 Norway lead. All the way back at the other side. Played back to Nordby. Bent to Nordby will clear it near the halfway line. It's Venturini. So Norway comes up with the game's first goal in the run of play. Esposito got it started. Sandu. And Harvey is back for that. Now what does the USA have to do?
Right now, defensively, they need to... Right now, Madelin has gone through 3 or 4 times, and she's so smart. She'll get behind Thori Staples, so Thori doesn't quite know where she is, and then she sort of drifts away from her. So defensively, that needs to shape up a little bit. The U.S. attacking-wise, they can't get too flustered by this. They need to keep playing the way they have been playing, maybe with a little bit more sense of urgency, but still just as sharp as they had the first half.
Pettersson did get credit for that goal. Minute 58. Norway looking for another. Madelin, a talented player. We saw a lot of her during the games in Sweden. There's Pettersson, who's the goal scorer. She had one in the final. Madelin had the assist also in that game on a hard shot that the German keeper could not stop. Tough tackle from behind by Venturini, and one thing the USA can't do is pick up some bad fouls or get frustrated. This free kick will come from way out. Norway must have thought they were back in Sweden in the final the way the rain was coming down earlier, but it has completely stopped. Aroness in the air, but Harvey's got that. Still a lot of time left in this game, and that's why the USA can't panic, but they know that they cannot afford to give up a second goal. Harvey sends it long. Ham got crunched by Esposito. Free kick now for the USA, and Mia Hamm obviously did not like that. That was a tough hit. Esposito, a very physical player. You didn't already know it. This is within Mia Hamm's range. Akers is over the ball. Will she touch it? No. Akers left it for Hamm, and she scores! Mia Hamm ties it at 1. For a third goal off of a free kick in the U.S. Cup.
Mia Hamm look at the power that she put into this ball. She runs right through it, lands on her kicking foot. Keeper has plenty of time to see it, just cannot get to it with that kind of speed that's on it. She knows right where she's going as soon as she makes contact for it. The wall tries to get in the way of it. They jump, and it's right around the wall to the far side of the goalkeeper. That is Mia Hamm that we did not see in Sweden. We never saw that smile from ear to ear.
You could see it on her face when she got up off of that foul that she was determined to do something with that kick. The only question was whether or not Akers was going to touch it. That went from well over 35 yards. That goal by Hamm unassisted in the 62nd minute, right off of that free kick. It is her 5th goal of this tournament. Tony DeCicco has to like that.
Yesterday, Tony DeCicco said he was impressed with the way Mia Hamm was able to come back every time Australia scored on the U.S.
Staples chasing it. Harvey's out. Trips up Madeline. And play continues, and the referee has no foul there. And we've got Madeline down. Harvey came out charging. Marisa, that one could have been disastrous. If something was called there, like a red card, Mary Harvey would have been out. Madeline's still hurting.
Harvey does a good job reading the play. She comes out, and she initially goes for the ball, and she just keeps her body in the way of it, and that's perfectly legal. You can let the ball go by, but try not to let that player go by as well.
I think Madeline was jumping, anticipating that as well, and that's why it looked the way it did. That would have been a tough call to go against the USA. Linda Madeline is obviously all right. Throw in. Coming up by Esposito. Akers. The crowd has been woken up here. They were expecting a record crowd. The rain has kept some away. Played in front. A great diving header by Arisa. You know, Roberts had her, and she was only free for a split second, but that's all it takes at the international level.
Right when the ball was entering that area, just a split second, Risa manages to just squeak in front and get ahead on the ball. But it was still at a pretty poor angle. Great effort to get in front of her. The whole time, Roberts had her in her vision, and then that last split second, she stepped in front.
That's why she was the MVP. That goal by Hamm, by the way, by our count, broke a scoreless streak by Bette Nordby of 337 minutes without allowing a goal. Going back 3+ games. Lily on that sideline, tied up by Sundboom. And now it'll be a Norway throw-in. That goal by Hamm, though, has electrified the crowd. Brought the USA back into a 1-1 tie. And it was looking like one goal was going to be enough to win this game. Now someone will need a second. Unless overtime produces nothing, then it would go to penalty kicks to crown a champion. Lily up the sideline. It somehow stays in play. Picked up in the back. I see Tammy Pierman, who has been loosening up. She may be coming on to get her first full international. Madeline, the linesman with a flag up. I didn't see it. The referee chooses not to anyway. Madeline brings it down. Hamilton in the box. Could have been dangerous, but she clears it out. Lily is there, number 13 for the U.S. We still have about 24 minutes to play, so there's a lot of time left in this one. USA have apparently recovered from the shock of giving up that first goal, and likewise Norway has done the same, and Norway continues to attack.
Still, both teams are playing a little bit unsettled. You have that frenzy of 2 goals being scored when not many chances have been offered the whole game, and now they're trying to settle into their own game again and not panic.
And there's going to be a change made, and it's an interesting one because Tiffany Milbert's coming out. Tammy Pierman will come in, and yes, she's a gifted goal scorer up front, but the initial reaction we had was that they were going to try her as a marking back, but here, replacing Milbert, one would expect her to go up front.
The whole entire time, Tony DiCicco said he was going to invite Tammy Pierman in, it was to be a marking back. But she was conceivably the MVP of the sports festival, the leading goal scorer. She's got wheels, and against this team that leaves so much space behind, she might be the player to put in.
And if Norway is showing any signs of fatigue, what better player to put on than a speed burner, and one that has played nearby in the George Mason area. That's where she attended college. So this is a homecoming for her. Down the far sideline, Pedersen, whose goal could have been the game winner, but now that one won't be as it's tied at 1. Aranis in the 23rd minute, second half, looking. A mistake in the back, and Maitland came through, and Harvey was right there. Looked like a couple of players relaxed, thinking Risa was going to be the intended receiver. When the ball got by there was Maitland.
Including Harvey, she relaxed a little bit too. She may have been able to make a save with her hands, where instead she had to come up with a foot save.
Back in live action, Aranis. Sandu. Blocked by Mia Hamm, who draws the foul. Mia Hamm is going to get a card, I believe, for kicking that ball back. And the crowd doesn't agree with that. Play resumes with Sandu sending it all the way across. Norway won it in the air, but no one is there to pick it up, and Roberts will clear out. RNS number 11, Teresa, great quick touch. Tonahagen, and now down the far side to Humlusto. Chased by Jenny Grubb. Nice effort. She'll tackle it out and gladly give away a throw in there instead of the corner.
One thing Jenny Grubb is really good at, when she commits, you know she's going to win the ball. A lot of that is because her normal position is sweeper, and every sweeper knows if you're going to go, you better get it.
Mia Hamm, who just recently scored her 54th international goal. She hit that 50 mark in the first game against Chinese Taipei when she had 2 goals and 4 assists, and she continues now to play a part in all of the goals. She has had something to do with 11 of the 14 U.S. national team goals scored in U.S. Cup 95. That's incredible. 3 goals just on free kicks alone. Tammy Pierman showing that speed on the right side. Had a brilliant career at George Mason, where she was the number 2 all-time scorer with 41 goals.
To have your first international cap be this game versus the World Championship team has to be mind-boggling for Tammy Pierman.
And where your friends and family can take a nearby drive to watch you play instead of an expensive flight. Inside, taken out by Risa. Nice toe poke to Tonahagen, number 7. Maitland. Chased by Jenny Grubb. Oh, Grubb with a nice job to win it. Looked like she may have stuck in a bit early. Nice job in the space. She's looking for Akers, but it's cleared away. All the way back toward the halfway line. So the 2 players, Grubb and Pierman, that did so well at the Olympic Festival that they were given a chance here, both have seen action, although in Grubb's case, she's got 3 looks. Akers with a knock. The offside flag up again. Risa, Hagen, and now Esposito playing it long. Both of these teams gearing up for the 1996 Olympics. It'll be the first time that women's soccer has been played at the Olympics. The USA will be the host in Atlanta, all the way back to Nordby, with Akers on the chase. Aranis. Atlanta won't be the only soccer venue. D.C. is one of them. They'll play in Birmingham, Miami. Down the left wing. Here's Pierman. No one is with her at the moment. Pierman now with a late cross. Give it up. Lilly with a left footer. And it looked very good when it left her foot.
Good setup initially by Carla Overbeck. What a smart player to know that Tammy's fast enough to get into that space. Lily, when it's on her left foot, you got to think it's going to go right at the goal. Good hit. She doesn't have much time to tee it off, which is one of the reasons it probably didn't go exactly where she wanted to go, but she had no other choice.
see that look at her face. She knows that if given a second opportunity, that one probably would have found the upper corner of the net. We've seen her do that many times.
I'm sure she's enjoying being in this half of the field as opposed to last game when she was back defending the whole entire time.
USA will have a throw in deep here. We remind you that if it's still tied after 90 minutes, it's sudden death overtime. Into the air, intended for Venturini. Hagarisa. Into space. And a lot of space. Hagen. Tried to lead Madelin, but Grubb was there. Mia Hamm bothered by Humlestad. Pierman now working on that right side. Her last one came down the left wing, all the way back. Nordby, that ball took a funny hop on her. All the way back, the other way. Mariana Pettersson. Going wide. Now inside and Overbeck. Pettersson stays with it, looks to cross it, and no room was given. Nice job defensively by Tiffany Roberts in support of Carla Overbeck.
Great job by both those defenders, Overbeck and Roberts. Overbeck just delays. Gives her team time to get back, and especially Tiffany Roberts gives her time, just enough time to get back and create another obstacle that Pettersson has to get through.
You must contest those crosses. That's one of the U.S. goals in this game, and they've done that pretty well. They've managed to stop a lot of the diagonals that really affected them in the semifinal. They can't stop them all, but they didn't seem to stop many in Sweden. Throw in for Miklabust. Still have over 16 minutes to go in regulation time, depending, of course, on injury time factor. Mia Hamm with a chase, and Nordby right up the middle. Norway out shooting the USA by 1 at this point, 9-8. Norway with the big edge in the corner kicks, and in fouls at 13-7. But Mia Hamm's goal brought the U.S. back to life about 4 minutes after Pettersson had scored. And now Debbie Keller is going to come in for Michelle Akers.
That hasn't been called for a while.
So Michelle Akers had a much better opportunity today. Certainly she wasn't limping like she was back in Sweden. But now it's time to give Debbie Keller an opportunity. And for Debbie Keller, she's getting a lot more playing time with Tony DeCicco.
She scored some big goals for the United States. She scored the one that let us win our bracket in the World Cup. She's very unpredictable. She can spin off a player quicker than anyone I've seen and get the ball on the receiving end of that.
That's holding in any sport. Ernest breaks it up. Quick restart. Debbie Keller's first touch. Venturini right back. Keller is free to line, has a flag out. And I didn't see if the referee was going to acknowledge it. She does. But keep playing until you hear that whistle.
It's so tough to get in there as a reserve and learn what the defense is doing. You can watch it all game, but until you step on the field and get caught that first couple of times, it takes a while to get to a rhythm.
Madelin. Nice job by Lily. That was her last resort there. Risa plays it into space. Harvey's got it. With Humlestad right there on the doorstep. A 1-1 game if you're just joining us. The winner receives the U.S. Cup 95 trophy and a $25,000 check from Nike. So the next goal could be an expensive one for one of these countries. Miklabust. Hamilton. Jenny Grubb is back defensively forward. We still have about 14 minutes to go, a little bit better. Here in the 31st minute. And if it's still tied, we go to sudden death. Next goal wins it. Arness. Into space. Harvey's coming out and she's got it. She read that very well.
U.S. has to be so careful. They're pulling up at good times, but when they pull up, they have to be conscious of where the attack is. They pull up and they're all in line and in sync with one another, but they need to know where the Norwegian players are, and right now they're not being very conscious of that. Someone needs to be near those players.
Got to do a better job of tracking. That time, Tana Hagen was right through. Offside flag up, and this time it's acknowledged. It's been not acknowledged like 3 or 4 times lately.
You can hear Carla Overbeck telling her team, push up, but that doesn't mean push up aimlessly. It means push up with someone in mind to keep an eye on.
USA have been offside 7 times. Norway 1. Rump will send it long. Looking on the left side, it's settled by Lilly. Christine Lilly with a move to Mia Hamm, her college teammate. Mia Hamm inside the 18. Tries to send it across as she was brought down right after the tackle. Back the other way. Look at Norway trying to open it up. Risa was blocked by Hamilton, but here she comes. Crunched there by Overbeck. Nice defensive play. They're looking for Pierman. Pierman heads it down with Hamm on top. Pierman the shot, just wide. Tammy Pierman had a chance right there to walk in on Nordby.
That is the space that Tammy Pierman can exploit better than anyone. She is so quick, and all she needs to do is get a little bit better touch on that. She had to hit it with the outside of her foot, considering the defensive pressure of the Norwegian defender.
I had noticed, but Mia Hamm was still upfield, and she was coming back to get into an onside position. She obviously hadn't gotten back up from being brought down in the box. Lilly, broken up. Sandu has Madelin to the right. This could be dangerous. Staples tracking. There's the cross. Harvey's got it. Madelin is one of the most creative, inventive players you'll find in the women's game today, number 10.
Seeing much more of her this game than we did during the last victory that Norway had over us in the semifinal of that World Cup game.
Madelin trying to leave it out for Hagen. That time they don't read each other. Venturini puts it through. Pierman. Keller joins the rush with Hamm. Pierman inside the 18. A Neckler that's stopped by Nordby. Looked like she got it off the inside of the foot, and that ball seemed to spin away from Nordby.
That's 2 balls that Tammy has had that she's had to play with her left foot. She's a right-footed player. If it's on the other side of the field, I have to think that that's much more closer to a goal or a better pass than this one.
Still 1-1 with over 10 minutes to play in this championship game. Keller trying to play it forward. When they first set up this tournament, it just goes by a schedule, so depending on the results, you have no idea who's going to win, although the way the draw was set up in the schedule of games, you expected both of these teams to be undefeated going into the final, but you never know. If there was an upset along the way, this one may not have been for the championship, but it is. And we're seeing what most people feel are the 2 top teams in the world going at it. Here's a long one. Over Harvey by Risa. Smart idea, though. She saw Harvey away from goal.
What a smart player. A lot of players wouldn't even notice the fact that Harvey's out so much, especially in a tight game like this where you're so nervous. She gets it. As soon as she sees it, she knows that the only option, and her best option really, is to try to crack it from that far out. Harvey backpedaling, praying that it's wide.
I believe they're announcing an attendance record here today. USA-Norway in Worcester last summer drew 6,511. That was the largest crowd to ever see the women play up until that point. We'll try to get that attendance figure for you. But they were expecting to set a record today. They wanted over 10. The rain may have done something to that. Mary Harvey chases that down. Under 10 minutes to go, unofficially, here in Washington. Final of the U.S. Cup 95 presented by Parmalat. USA won, Norway won. Pedersen and Hamm, your respective goal scorers, about 4 minutes apart, both in the second half. Sandu tackled away by Overbeck. Faces painted just like a college basketball game now. And a vocal crowd as well here at RFK. Sandu gave it up. Foul called. Staples came in there. Attendance listed as 7,083, which is a record. Short of what they expected, but the rain virtually eliminated any walk-up.
This is where the danger will come for the United States on a play just like this. You have to be very careful to mark up and sort of keep their zonal shape as well.
Free kick. Risa leaves it. Esposito on the left foot. Harvey punched it down. Not out yet. Cleared away by Tisha Venturini. you're not sure who's going to take it, the right foot or the left foot, that could create problems in and of itself. You had Risa with the right foot, Esposito left. But it was well taken, regardless.
Mary Harvey comes out so strong on that. She's been known actually to clean out even her own teammates. But as long as she gets the ball, nobody's complaining. Harvey will clear it.
Forgot to mention, your first full international was against Norway, a 3-0 shutout. Congratulations, back in 1987. Lily to Ham, and the offside flag is up immediately. That'll be the 8th offside of the U.S. Much better game, if you joined us late, than we saw in Sweden when it was more one-sided, and the USA came back valiantly in the closing minutes after Heidi Storr was ejected, but this game has been evenly matched all the way through. Staples heading it back. That's why Harvey could use her hands there.
The last 2 minutes of the game is always very scary. One, players are tired and fatigued, and that's when the simple things don't happen, and there's just mental breakdowns on the field, so you need to watch for that.
When this game started, the temperature was a fairly cool 73 degrees, but the humidity, I'm sure Tony DeCicco and company felt it at 97%. If the sun was out today, it would have been in the 90s, temperature-wise. On one hand, it's bad for the players, but on the other hand, both coaches and players wanted it because that's what it's going to be like next year during the Olympics, and they wanted to test themselves under Olympic-like conditions. Nordby with a clearance. Hagen. Risa looking for Sundin, and Mary Harvey will come out and snare this. This is the kind of soccer you're going to see during the Olympics in Atlanta in '96. I think it's really going to help the women's game internationally as well as especially here in the United States. At this level, I think a lot of people that have never seen the women play would be surprised.
Usually you get a fan to come to the game for the first time and they're a fan forever.
They're not aware of the skill level. They're surprised at the toughness. Here's Keller. Now to Lily. The USA with a chance as Lily trying to cut it back. Esposito with a block and a clearance out. It'll be a USA throw-in with just over 5 minutes to play in regulation time.
I even think Esposito may have needed some keeper gloves for that one, and they may have hit it right into her hands.
Throw in for Corey Staples. Headed out. USA again. And here's where the pressure builds. We're about 5 minutes and change away from sudden death overtime to determine a champion. Sundin with a missed kick. U.S. will keep it. Ham reversed it. How many players would even think about it, let alone execute something like that?
I think she knew, too, that both Tisha Venturini and Tammy Pierman were in that space she was trying to get it into.
How about an unsighted goalkeeper not expecting that? Overbeck from the back. Orines. Long clearance down the right side. Risa tied up there by Tiffany Roberts. Roberts with a pass blocked. Ham coming in to help defensively, but Norway will take it. Nice turnaround by Madelin. Harvey's coming out, and it goes out. What about the job today Roberts has done on Risa? Granted, Risa has found some room, as all great players will, but all in all, a tough assignment, but I think she's done pretty well.
She's done a very great job at marking Risa, not out of the game like you said, but she has been much less effective in this game and all the other games Norway has had in this tournament and the World Cup games. One of the things Tony wanted to look at for Roberts was look at her in the marking back position, and that's what she played at the Sports Festival a week ago.
That's in her advantage. She can play defender or midfield, part of a record crowd to watch women's soccer, and the numbers will obviously be much higher come the Olympics, but just over 7,000. They thought they'd get between 10 and 15, and you know what? 10 would have been easy with all the exposure this game has gotten in the D.C. area had it not been raining since late yesterday at Milwaukee. Staples chasing it. Madelin right with her all the way. Madelin will run for 90 minutes. And she may have to run longer with overtime on the horizon. Anderson all the way back to Nordby. And Mia Hamm still has plenty of step in her legs chasing that ball.
When you see Mia Hamm go up for that, Lily needs to step up as well so that pass isn't available. The keeper only has that one option, and the United States needs to read that. Or Mia Hamm shouldn't go because she's just wasting her energy there.
43rd minute is where we're at. Aiden Hellerud looking on at a 1-1 tie right now. Maybe his first look at sudden death overtime. Certainly is at this level. Played long the other way. Staples. Throw in coming up for Norway. This is a team that only allowed 1 goal while scoring 23 during the World Cup. That was in the 85th minute against Denmark in a quarterfinal. Tackled away by Grubb. And they're going to say corner. A little hesitation, but the corner kick was called. Everyone now must mark up. Risa ready to take this one. A 1-1 draw as Risa bends it inside. Knocked away at the near post, and through all that traffic, I couldn't see who got it. I thought it was Staples.
I think it was Staples, too. She knows that if it gets past her, there's a lot of red jerseys right behind her. She's in charge of everything in that 6-yard box and in front.
Another corner from Norway inside, and this one is deflected wide. Norway, though, will maintain possession. Here in the 44th minute, Tona Hagen bends it inside, headed down. The shot, and it goes wide. Mariana Pettersson had a chance to win this game.
Mary Harvey has to think about so many things. First, she's thinking about this long ball. Then she has to cover the next pass, and followed by a shot. She's moving all around the box. Her defenders need to help her out a little bit more. Lily is in front of her so much it's probably almost impossible for Harvey to even see where that shot is going, and she does a great job covering the goal.
And in retrospect, Lily may have forced that shot to be off just by enough to miss it. Played into space by Sandu. Both of these teams finding some holes lately. Madeline drills it across, blocked by Linda Hamilton. In the air, it's won for the moment by the USA, and Venturini clears it, intended for Keller. Norway turns it right back inside, and Mary Harvey comes out. We're nearing the end of this game in regulation time. Again, it goes to sudden death overtime if it's tied. Pierman, chase it. Nordby's got it. And then took a little punishment from Tammy Pierman. Anderson with a clearance. Over back. And now Sandun 14. Agarisa. Sandun chasing after, but it's Mary Harvey's ball. Our clock shows we're in injury time here at RFK. Harvey. Now to Sandun, who got it. Keller. Christine Lully looking up for Hamm, and the offside flag up again. USA heading for double figures in that category, and some of these have been very, very close, and I think wrong.
That call was the closest call out of all of the ones that have been called. Hamm was coming back, and I thought I clearly saw Espeseth on the other side of Hamm.
Free kick Norway, Espeseth. Off a deflection, Harvey's coming out. And Christine Lilly could have saved the day there because Harvey was out, and Sandu looked like she might have been able to do something with that ball.
Harvey yelled keeper, but a little bit late, and I think Lilly made the right choice. She said, I know I've got it, I know I can clear it out, I'm just going to do it.
Espeseth on the throw. Espeseth again with a strike. Harvey was coming out ahead of her. What a save by Mary Harvey off Pettersson. And I thought she hesitated, and it almost cost her. Great reaction by Mary Harvey. It's still 1-1. As we are in injury time by well over a minute. What a save.
Great sight, and she almost has to hesitate a little bit when she sees that it's going to Medellin's head, because normally she's going to head this ball back to near post.
And as we watch that replay, the three whistles sound. That's it. for regulation play, but thanks to Mia Hamm's goal, it's a 1-1 draw. You can watch it again with us when we come back. The next goal wins it at RFK.
Look, a MasterCard won't make you different.
To Milt. Welcome back, everyone, to Prime's continued coverage of the U.S. Women's Cup presented by Parmalat. It's tied at 1 between the USA and Norway, and that means for this tournament, sudden death overtime, so the next goal wins it. They'll play up to 30 minutes. 2 15s is the way they'll divide it. If it's still tied, we'll go to penalty kicks. Previous, it was 2 15-minute overtimes, not sudden death. How will sudden death change things?
Well, the fatigue factor is one thing that you have to think of. Tony has put in 2 subs just recently in Jen Grubb and Tammy Pierman, and Norway hasn't made any changes yet. That's one thing. I know that Tony wants to use the width of the field more. Every time they've been able to get forward, it's been down the sideline, and them sending long balls into the towers in the back is not going to be effective, and they've been getting caught offside. Norway, on the other hand, is going to keep sending that long ball, and as Pellerud said, it may not be pretty, but it sure is effective.
Evan Pellerud, like Tony DeCicco, looking on at a 1-1 game. 2 great rivals. They have been since '91. All the way back the other way. Staples chasing it. And this one goes out of play. Off the throw. Sticking in there. The USA defensively, that's Hamilton. Played across the other way. And that one goes wide. Grubb looking on. Sandhu, this is only her 3rd international. She has scored twice, but you can see the potential that she has. She's 23 years old. Sudden death overtime. We've just started here. Jenny Grubb, a field goal kicker for her high school football team. We saw her strike the other night when she hit one off the crossbar. Pierman, the keeper's out. Pierman will walk in. She wins it. The 2 rookies. The 2 rookies team up. Pierman, in her first full international, gets your game winner in sudden death overtime, and Grubb figured in.
Mary Harvey says, Jen, why don't you take the goal kick? She does, and then she gets it back again, sends it to Pierman, who plays it forward to beats the keeper, takes her time, doesn't panic, and passes it right into the net. Looks very similar to the ball that was won in the World Cup in '91 when Michelle Akers, all she had to do was pass it in.
That must have seemed like an eternity for her to see that ball roll through.
She reads it really well. She sees as soon as it's hit where she needs to be to get on the other end of it. She doesn't shy away from the keeper running at her, and she passes it into the net and wins the tournament for the United States.
You talk about your heroes. Tammy Pierman, 21 years of age, her first international, gets her first goal in sudden death overtime. The USA wins the U.S. Women's Cup 95.